Stop resolving conflict with sex. Let me throw a word for the singles. If you are a single lady or you are a single man, and what you do is testosterone, and you have a boyfriend who, rather than talking about the conflict you guys have, he wants to have sex with you. Let me tell you something. That relationship will not go anywhere. Conflict and crisis are common with all kinds of relationship, marriage inclusive. So it is not something that is new or something that is weird when you get to see couples having issues in their homes. It is not an abomination, yes. Because in the first place, these are the two different persons coming from different backgrounds, different upbringing, different beliefs. And they have decided to come under the same roof to make it work, to have it forever together, just like we will always say. But it's rather unfortunate that a lot of times when conflict happens, when crisis comes in, couples involved, instead of actually going about resolving this conflict, they tend to use sex. They go for sex. A lot of times, a lot of couples have issues, have conflicts. They wouldn't talk about it. They would rather end up having sex. You are not doing yourself any good. You don't do yourself any good at all. Why? Because sex did not bring that conflict in the first place. So why use sex to want to resolve a conflict? Except, of course, if it is a conflict that is resulted or that came into limelight as a result of sex, then you can use sex to resolve it. But even in that, you have to dialogue about it before you finally do it the right way. So what I'm saying in essence is that whatever brings the conflict should be handled. If, for instance, it was dropping a plate in an inappropriate place that brought about a conflict, talk about it. This plate shouldn't have been kept here. The plate should be kept in another place. And not for you to say, why did you have to drop this plate here? And at the end of the day, the other partner is wearing a long face. And the other partner thinks that having sex, making love, is going to be a way to resolve such problem. It wouldn't work. Another reason why resolving conflict with sex isn't the best thing to do is sex compounds that issue. Sex multiplies it. Sex adds more to the problem. I hope you understand that. Because it's like pouring water on top of the stone, or probably pouring water into the basket, instead of actually attacking the root cause of this problem. Now, having known that resolving conflict with sex isn't going to work, it's not the best at all, mark that. Issues resolved by sex, conflicts resolved by sex, are not resolved at all. It's just like pushing a pack of dirty clothes under the table. Definitely, the stench will wear you out one day and you're going to go and pull it out. So let's talk about the best ways or the possible positive ways with which couples should resolve conflict amongst themselves. Because these things works magic. First and foremost, go to the root cause of that problem and deal with it through productive communication. The root cause of the conflict, the root cause of the issue, go to it. You know, there is this saying that if you want to kill a tree permanently, you don't cut it from the base, you go dig it from the root. That way, that tree wouldn't sprout out again. And that is how it is also with conflict resolution. If you know what causes that problem, what always brings that issue, go straight to the deep root of that problem, whether it is a tap root, whether it's any kind of root, just uproot it. That's the first way to do it. Secondly, be sincere. Have a sincere and honest dialogue with your partner. Dialogue is another beautiful way for conflict resolutions among couples. Talk about it. When we say dialogue, it is not when you are shouting on top of each other's voices. No. When there is a dialogue, it's like, sit here, you sit here. I am being honest. This thing is happening and I don't like it. This is how I feel about it. This is how it makes me feel. This is how it makes me react. And the other person is also sincere. Oh, I don't know that is how it is. I don't even know that what I was doing is not actually right. Thank you for being honest. You know, when you go into the place of dialogue with sincerity and honesty, you come out with a better resolution. And the problem is better resolved. That's two. Thirdly, be sober. Be willing to take positive steps so that you can stop future occurrence of such problem. What did I say? You have to be what? Sober. And you also be willing to take positive steps to stop any other future occurrence. It is one thing for you to know that you have offended somebody or you have caused a conflict. It's another thing for you to be sober. Being sober means that you are sorry. It doesn't matter who, whether it is the man or the woman, whether it is the wife or the husband. That's what I mean in this aspect. When you are sober, it is natural. Even the other person, your wife, your husband, sees the sobriety in you, and then you take a willing step. If the steps are going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or even 10, you are willing, you have the willingness and the eagerness to take those steps so that this kind of a thing will not occur again. That is another good way. Then the next one is take responsibility for your actions and be apologetic, whether you are the husband or wife. Because most times husbands find it so difficult to apologize. They say they are the men, the head of the home. Nobody is dragging that with you. I used to say that when you see a man that will always repeat to you that, don't you know I'm the head of this house? Don't you know I'm the head of this family? You don't know I'm your husband? That man has identity crisis. Yes. You don't need to repeat it to your wife or your children or whosoever is in that family or household at that point in time when that conflict has happened, or when an issue is being deliberated upon and it seems as if nobody wants to listen to your own side of the story or to take to what you are saying. You don't need to tell anybody, don't you know I'm the head of this home? If you are fond of saying that, it means you have an identity problem. It means you are not responsible, actually. So you are just trying to use those words to gather strength so that because you feel threatened, you feel you are being pushed aside. No, it does not make you less of a man. Neither does it make you less of a husband. When you accept that you are wrong and you apologize sincerely to your wife or even your children, the Bible says that you should not provoke your children to wrath. And the Bible also says, dwell with them, that is your wives, according to knowledge. So, it has to do with you being apologetic and being sincere about it. It doesn't make you less of a man. For the women, it is always easy. Whether they are wrong or right, they just won't allow peace to reign. And they will just say, I'm sorry. And for some people, when you have apologized, they will begin to analyze it. That I'm sorry, how did it come? Were you smiling when you said it? Did you squeeze your face when you said it? All of that. It doesn't call for that at all. It doesn't call for that. So when you take responsibility for your action, you'll be apologetic, whether you're the husband or the wife. The next point will be being intentional about conflict resolutions so you can have a healthy lifestyle. Healthy lifestyle is the best. See, when I talk about having a healthy lifestyle and resolving conflict resolution, it's because I know where I come from. The family I was born and brought up in is not that kind of family that conflict resolution was something that is very easy for them. I was born and brought up in a family where what I take in the morning, noon, and night is poison, because it is always conflict, conflict, conflict. And that wasn't healthy for me. Now you understand what I mean when I say be intentional. You have to be intentional about conflict resolutions so that you will have a healthy lifestyle. Because I don't know, I think there are some people that enjoys it when there is conflict. I don't know. But for me, I have tested it. I grew from such kind of a family. And I know that I don't want anything negative energy around me. That is the kind of person I am. If I am close to you and I notice that you are such kind of a person that will always want to snap at every littlest thing instead of talking about it, I take a walk or I will just shut down. So that is another point. Then the last point is avoid third party. Avoid third party except it is very necessary. That is for guidance. If not, you can always resolve your conflict among you and your husband, among you and your wife. It is only when guidance is required and either of you have little or no knowledge about how to go about it, that is when you can bring a third party. But aside that, conflict resolution is better done between you and your partner and not resolving it with sex. So please, stop resolving conflict with sex. Let me throw a word for the singles. If you are a single lady or you are a single man, and what you do is test running, and you have a boyfriend who, rather than talking about the conflict you guys have, he wants to have sex with you. Let me tell you something. That relationship will not go anywhere. Except, of course, you want to invade your life under perpetual punishment. That is just one out of the many danger signals that have been coming your way and you ignore them. And this particular one, keep opening up. Because each time this guy has sex with you, another conflict that will come will be heavier than the previous. And that is how it is also in marriage. So I'm sending this word out to you if you're a single person, that sex is better when you are married. And even in marriage, you don't resolve conflict with sex. I hope you are blessed. And if you do, give this video a thumbs up so that other people will also see it and enjoy it. God bless you until I see you in my